What if I told you DDG just launched his very own dating show with 25 women competing for his love, and Halle Bailey is not having it? Y'all, the drama is spiraling. Picture this. You're fresh out of a messy breakup, battling your ex in court over custody, and just when you think things can't get pettier, your ex pops out with a whole Love Island knockoff show called Are You My Ball? Yes, that's the actual title. I could not make this up even if I tried. And let's just say the internet is not buying that this was just business. No, fans are convinced DDG timed this entire thing as a way to throw shade at Halle. And sis, her reaction? Baby, it's giving rage, jealousy, and pure frustration all rolled into one. But this ain't just about Halle versus DDG. This show is already messy. Contestants are fighting on night one, and the internet is calling it corny, toxic, and flat out embarrassing. So buckle up, because today we're breaking down the show, Halle's furious reaction, and why fans are saying DDG should be in therapy and not reality TV. Alright, so let's start with the basics. DDG has officially stepped into the reality TV lane. He calls it Are You My Ball? And yes, the title alone is already giving side-eye. The show has him flying out 25 women from auditions in Houston, Atlanta, LA, and more, all competing for a shot at his love. The vibe, think Love Island meets Flavor of Love, but with a heavy sprinkle of chaos. DDG hyped it up as his biggest project ever, claiming he'd been planning it for months. And on paper, it sounds like your typical influencer cash grab reality show. But the tea comes in the timing. Because y'all, this show didn't just pop up randomly. It premiered literally days after DDG and Halle's latest custody battle in court. So people are like, sir, is this really about finding love? Or is this about poking your ex? And let's be real, DDG thrives off attention, whether it's music, streaming, or controversy. Launching a dating show when the internet is already side-eyeing your parenting choices? Bold. Very bold. Fans immediately clocked it. This was no coincidence. To them, this was DDG standing on a loud microphone yelling, "Look, Halle, I've moved on." Now let's talk timing, because this is where things get juicy. The show aired almost back-to-back with DDG and Halle's most recent custody hearing. And if you've been keeping up, you know that situation is messy. We're talking supervised visits, allegations flying, and a courtroom tug-of-war over their son. So for DDG to drop a reality dating series in the middle of that, woof. The internet immediately connected the dots. One tweet summed it up. This ain't about love, this is about sending a message to Halle. And honestly, they might not be wrong. Think about it. When couples split, one of the oldest petty tricks in the book is to show off how unbothered you are. New outfits, new bae, new lifestyle. But DDG skipped all the soft flexes and went straight to reality TV with 25 women. Fans are convinced the timing was intentional. And Halle's reaction? Baby, the whispers are she is livid. Word is she feels like DDG is embarrassing her publicly, especially when their court business is still so fresh. To make it worse, some of the fans think that this could even backfire legally. Because if the judge sees DDG prioritizing a dating show over his son, well, let's just say that might not look too good in court. And if you thought this was just going to be lighthearted dating fun, nah. Within the first hour of the premiere, the women were already throwing hands. Like, not playful pillow fighting. I'm talking full-blown screaming matches, threats, and almost boxing in the living room. One girl went straight for another, yelling, "You've been wearing the same contact lenses for years." Like, what? That insult alone had people online cracking up, but also side-eyeing the production. Because if the contestants are already tearing each other down before episode 1 is even halfway done, what's the rest of the season gonna look like? Some fans immediately called it a red flag. They said this wasn't about fighting love at all. It was a recipe for chaos and clout chasing. And honestly, DDG probably knew what he was doing. Drama equals views, and views equal money. But here's the catch. When you already have a shaky public image, adding violent fights and toxic mess to your brand might not be the flex you think it is. Instead of making him look like a desirable bachelor, it's making him look like, well, messy. And fans didn't hesitate to clown him for it. Now let's get into the internet's reaction, because Twitter and TikTok had a field day. On one side, you've got DDG's loyal fans hyping him up, calling it his glow-up era. They're like, he's thriving since Halle left. He's booked, he's unbothered, he's up. But then on the other side, oh, the dragging was brutal. Critics are calling the show corny, petty, and a total waste of time. One viral post said, DDG making women fight for his love when he should be fighting for custody of his son is insane. And that sentiment echoed across the internet. Some people even compared it to old VH1 dating shows, but not in a nostalgic way. More like, this is Flavor of Love if Flavor Flav had an iPhone and unresolved court dates. Yikes. And let's not forget about Halle's fans, who came ready with the claws. They flooded timelines saying DDG was clearly trying to bait her, but all he really did was embarrass himself. For them, this wasn't a glow up, it was a meltdown. So depending on where you stand, this is either DDG's boss move or his flop era. But either way, everybody is watching. One of the loudest critiques online has been about DDG's priorities. People can't understand why he'd pour time, money, and energy into a dating show when he's literally in a legal battle for his child. A top comment summed it up perfectly. Imagine launching a reality show instead of fighting for custody of your son. Misplaced priorities, if you ask me. And honestly, that sentiment is hard to ignore. Custody battles aren't cheap. Lawyers, court fees, time in hearings, it all adds up. So for DDG to flex a whole production with fights, housing, and 25 contestants while his parenting is under a microscope, yeah, it raised eyebrows. Critics argue it's not just a bad look publicly, it could actually hurt him in court, because judges pay attention. If the narrative becomes, dad is more interested in clout than fatherhood, that's not exactly in his favor. And Halle's team, you know they're clocking every move. Word is, her lawyers are already considering whether to use this show as evidence that DDG's not prioritizing his son. And if that is true, this whole dating circus might end up costing him more than just bad press. Now, y'all know the internet will meme anything, and DDG's show was no exception. Within hours, therapy jokes started flying. One fan tweeted, "Crazy how men will do anything but go to therapy. Just say you miss your ex and save the budget." And that went viral fast. People started clowning the idea that DDG poured months of planning and thousands of dollars into this just to avoid admitting he's still pressed about Halle. Memes popped up showing DDG in a therapist's chair with 25 women around him. Captions like, "This you?" It's become the running joke. Instead of healing, he launched a reality show. And honestly, the internet loves that kind of irony. But deep down, the jokes are reflecting what people really think. DDG isn't over Halle, no matter how many women he surrounds himself with. Another layer of outrage, the women themselves. A lot of fans couldn't believe 25 women signed up to compete for DDG's love. especially given all the allegations hanging over his head. We're talking DV accusations, custody drama, and a public reputation that's far from squeaky clean. Some people online were like, what low vibrational woman would fight for the love of a deadbeat dad in court for supervised visits? That comment went viral and the backlash only grew. Some fans argued the women were clout chasing, hoping the exposure from the show would boost their platforms. Others said it was sad to watch women lower their standards just for a shot at reality TV fame. And to make it worse, their willingness to fight each other over DDG made the optics even uglier. Instead of making him look desirable, it made the whole setup look desperate and toxic. The internet wasn't dragging just DDG anymore. They were dragging every woman involved. So what about Halle? Word on the street is she is furious. Sources close to her claim she feels embarrassed, humiliated even, by DDG's antics. The timing, the show, the chaos, it all feels like a public stunt designed to get under her skin. Fans are eating it up. Some are convinced her anger proves she's still emotionally tied to him. Others argue it's not jealousy, it's frustration that he's making a circus out of their very real legal struggles. There's also the court angle. Some speculate Halle's team might use clips from the show against him in custody hearings. Imagine a judge watching contestants brawling while DDG sits back calling it entertainment. Yeah, not exactly parent of the year energy. Still, some fans say this might be projection. Maybe Halle's not furious at all, and it's just the internet spinning a narrative. But regardless, her name is now tied to this mess, whether she wants it or not. So where does this leave us? On one hand, DDG has launched his biggest project ever, stepping into reality TV with a splash of chaos. On the other, his personal life, reputation, and even his custody battle are now under more scrutiny than ever. For Halle, this is either a moment of silent fury or a moment to let the internet project while she stays unbothered. Either way, she's trending because of it. And for the fans, the lines are clear. Some see this as DDG's glow up, his new era, his I don't need Halle moment. Others see it as a desperate cry for attention, a distraction from real responsibilities, and the biggest example yet of misplaced priorities. One thing's certain, the drama is far from over. The show has only just begun, and already it's a battlefield of insults, memes, and speculation. Whether DDG finds love or just more controversy, the world will be watching. But what do y'all think? Is this genius marketing or messy desperation? Was Halle truly furious, or are fans reading too much into it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, keep it locked right here for more tea. This is the Gossip Drop. Thank you so much for watching.